Ayo! Welcome to the Ango Show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is October 9th, 2024. And I'm so glad you guys could be here with me today. I don't know if YouTube is alerting people that I'm live or whatever it may be. So I'm going to need y'all to show some love in the chat. I'm going to need y'all to throw some likes on the stream. Share the stream with your friends, your family, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, your grandmas, your grandpas, whoever it may be. Ladies and gentlemen, last night NXT and WWE, they went to war for 1 hour with AEW Dynamite, and I know for a fact that social media is going to be absolutely crazy when those ratings drop, because people are going to want to see how did NXT fare against AEW Dynamite. For the purpose of today's live stream, we are going to talk about WWE NXT. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I am not watching Dynamite over NXT. I have been very adamant about that in previous streams. If they're going to go to war and NXT is going to be on Tuesday nights, but then Dynamite is going to move nights and start at 9 o'clock or whatever it may be. Nah. I'm already focused. I'm already paying attention to everything that is happening on NXT, and at the end of the day, they are bringing the better show, in my opinion. Plus, to be fair, I do want to be fair to AEW. AEW has been greatly impacted. There was a bunch of travel woes and stuff that's been happening due to the hurricanes. So obviously, AEW had to make a lot of last-minute changes. Their plans had changed last minute. So quite frankly, I don't really want to talk about Dynamite. There is one segment I will talk about with Dynamite because it just made no sense to me, and maybe you guys can help me out. But, yeet, we are live. Guys, if you want to support the channel, there's a couple different ways to do so. The first way and the easiest way and the cheapest way, the freest way, is by simply just clicking like on the stream. If you guys want to help a brother out, that's the best way to do so. If you guys don't want to help a brother out by liking a stream, but you want to help a brother out by showing some love and having your questions and comments being answered, ladies and gentlemen, it is very simple. It is very easy. Drop a super chat. All super chats on the stream get read. Yesterday was absolutely monstrous. Tons and tons of great super chats, tons of great conversations. But don't forget, we do have the $5 or more TTS activated. So if you drop $5 or more, I will be cut off while I'm speaking, and then I'm basically forced to answer your super chat right then and there. But all super chats get answered, all donations get answered, all memberships get shouted out, and then of course if you guys want to gift memberships, that would be really cool. We actually gained about 5 to 10 memberships. I think the number was 7. We gained 7 members yesterday just after the stream. So I know if you guys are not watching live and you're watching on demand, maybe sometimes you're not watching live because I'm live during your lunch, your work schedule, school schedule, whatever it may be. That's completely cool. But shout out to everybody who's becoming a member on the channel. I appreciate you. Just a couple shout outs in the chat. Darren Bus, Pee Wee, Dan, Right Hand Cam, Laws, Raging Girl Gamer, RM, Sin. So many people are in the chat, so I appreciate you guys. Tay the Survivor, Marky Mork 92 is also in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Guys, blow up the chat. We're going to be engaging with the chat. We're going to kick things off with NXT. Plus, there's 2 news topics that I have to discuss because those news topics are absolutely insane. Some very, very interesting stuff. Last night's NXT was good, man. First, I just want to give them props. Smaller venue, but it's outside of the Performance Center. Absolutely love the stage design. Absolutely love the venue. Absolutely love the ramp. Absolutely love the branding. NXT has figured out the right branding for the brand. They finally look like a serious show, and holy shit, I'm so glad, because that was one of my biggest complaints about NXT. Despite the booking being so good and so well thought out and so long-term and carefully planned, I always thought their presentation was a little bit of a joke. So I'm glad to see that this new look is just really good. And then keep in mind, we'll see what happens, because the Performance Center, We don't know if the Performance Center is impacted by the hurricanes, but next week NXT should be back in the Performance Center with a brand new stage, brand new layout, brand new everything. So I am very excited about that. We're going to see what it looks like in the Performance Center. But I thought last night's NXT was a really, really good episode. I thought NXT continues to do a really good job with their booking and their well thought out plans. NXT starts off, I mean, really in a fun way. You got Trick Williams and you got Jey Uso and you got Wesley and just like this whole thing is fun, man. What was Jey Uso really needed? Was Jey Uso really needed on NXT? Honestly, no. But you know, they got the moment with Trick and Jey Uso. The crowd was crazy. The crowd absolutely loves Trick Williams. I love Trick Williams. I think he's a phenomenal talent. I think Jey Uso knows how to get that crowd going. They do that whoop that trick. Yeet. They do it. The crowd's with it. They get it. They love it. People are all for it. One really cool thing about this segment, really that I find to be appealing to me, is the fact that the NXT audience always knows how they know how to love NXT. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, the audience is like that niche audience that just loves to support them, and pretty much everything that they do, they get reactions. But they really went crazy for Jey Uso. They really went crazy for Trick Williams. One of the things that I find very interesting is that Wesley came out. I did feel like Wesley was maybe just a little overshadowed, just slightly. I think he was a little overshadowed slightly by Jey Uso coming out. But I thought it was a good segment, man. Like, I thought this shit was fire. You know, it's like, it's, you know, the thing is, like, I genuinely believe that this was really good. I genuinely believe this is really good stuff. I liked it. I really loved it. Yes, I genuinely loved it. This was a great way to open NXT. That's how I'll keep it simple. I'll keep it cool, whatever. Let's get to the matches, bro. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Kalani Jordan versus Fatal Influence. I actually really liked this match, guys. I really liked this match. Guys, I'm going to be so real with you. I genuinely believe that Jade Cargill is really starting to understand how it works being in the WWE. She gets a monstrous hot tag. This is a fun match. Fatal Influence, I'm actually really starting to like them. I do want to see them on the main roster. I want to see WWE commit to this group because I do enjoy watching them. I definitely loved this match. One of the things that I really like about this match too is that Kalani Jordan is somebody who came in very inexperienced, and she looks great alongside Bianca and Jade. The crowd loved this match. I think this was like a really good way to make everybody look good, even with people losing, right? When you have to pick a winner, this is one of those things where I feel like they genuinely did a good job of making people look good. Ramon Leclerc says Cargill can't wrestle. I definitely disagree with that. I think Jade Cargill has the aura, she has the look, and she has the wrestling skills. She gets the hot tag, and things look really good. And honestly, listen, man, if you don't like the way Jade Cargill wrestles, just don't watch. I mean, honestly, if you don't like the way people wrestle, don't watch. It's a wrestling show. If you don't like the way people wrestle, don't watch. I think, you know, it's very difficult for me to criticize somebody who's a wrestler because I don't wrestle. Do I feel like I'd be able to get into a wrestling ring and learn it? Yeah, I do feel like I'd be able to learn it. Do I think I'd be good at it? No. Do I think I'd be on the level of Jade Cargill? Absolutely not. I think a lot of people love talking shit from the sidelines, but they're not even willing to get into the ring. So it's very difficult for me to sit there and complain or to criticize somebody's wrestling skills. But I can tell you guys right now that I have been watching wrestling 52 weeks a year for the last 4 years. I've been full-time doing this shit. And I watched Jade Cargill's first match in AEW, and I seen her most recent match in WWE. She has come a long way, and I refuse to criticize that. This was a good match. Everybody looked good. I felt like WWE did a really good job of making the baby faces look good, but also at the same time, I thought they did a really good job of making the heels look good, even in defeat. And Kalani Jordan was the one who worked most of the match, and this is exactly what it's all about. You know, like I see the tweets, I see people talking about her. This is a girl, inexperienced, now coming in, and she's hanging out with the top stars, having great matches. I think it's a good thing. I'm excited to see what happens there. The crowd was into it as well, and that's what really matters. The crowd, the fan base needs to be responding. They absolutely did that. That's a good thing. Next thing you know, one thing that we need to talk about is that Jakara Jackson and Lash Legend are looking for an NXT Women's Tag Team Championship match. It's not the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship. It's the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. The tag team division and the women's division, or for the tag team belts, they haven't been on NXT in a while, so I'm glad that they are doing this. I'm glad they're mixing it up. Also, I do think there could be a really fun spot between Lash Legend and Jade Cargill. I don't think a lot of people give her a lot of credit, but Lash Legend is also another name that has improved. I like seeing the women's tag title belts float between NXT Raw and SmackDown. I want to see more of it. I look forward to seeing how they go about it. The next thing that we get on SmackDown that I absolutely loved was that Stephanie Vaquer pulled up. And they did a little tease in the night. Sarah Schreiber is interviewing Julia, and somebody knocks on the door. Julia's like, "Oh, hello, my old best friend." I swear to God, when I saw this happen, I'm going to tell you guys, when I saw this happen, I really didn't know. I really, really did not know what was going to happen here. I swear, like, I genuinely believed that maybe it was somebody from Damage Control, because Julia obviously has a little bit of history. So I thought maybe that could be it. I thought maybe that would play a role into it. But truth be told, guys, I thought this was cool. They teased something was going to happen. I wasn't even thinking Stephanie Vaquer, because Stephanie Vaquer outside of WWE wasn't necessarily a friend of Julia. In fact, if you guys ever watched their match that they had, I think it was for the NJPW Strong Championship or whatever, Women's Championship. Like when they had that match, there was like a ton of miscommunication, language barriers, just a bunch of issues. So I didn't expect Stephanie Vaquer. We'll get to that in a second, because we have Roxanne and Cora Jade. They're out there. Julia comes out. Love her entrance. I think Julia comes out as a big deal, but Julia does not come alone, because it does become revealed that Stephanie Vaquer is by her side. This is interesting because there's been a lot of talks that maybe WWE is going to prolong this specific storyline as well. There's rumors that WWE is going to do a 2-on-2 women's tag team match at Halloween Havoc. That appears to be the plan. And then at some point, it's going to be a fatal 4-way for the women's championship, which I think would be really cool. Some people are hypocritical. Some people are critical of this specific segment, but I actually like it because one of my main concerns in previous live streams has actually been whether or not somebody would feel overshadowed. WWE has done a really good job of putting Stephanie Vaquer and Julia together in a way where nobody looks overshadowed. Both of them have great presentation. Both of them come out as a big deal. This is what the streets want, bro. You guys don't want that NXT 2.0 type shit. Well, leave it to Roxanne, leave it to Cora Jade, leave it to Stephanie, leave it to Julia for changing the way it's being narrated, because this is a company that I swear, I promise you guys right now, this is a company that understands you got to give them the best of both worlds. This roster is starting to look a lot like Black and Gold, but the TV product is still remaining the same, and that's what's important. That was my biggest criticism of NXT. And I swear to God, I'm noticing this change right away. So I'm very, very happy about that. I thought this was a really good segment, a very unique segment. And I thought this was good, man. This is how you present people as top stars. And this is the reason why NXT's got the best women's division. So therefore, that's what I want to see. Ladies and gentlemen, we did get a couple super chats, so let's read them. Right hand Cam dropped a $2 super chat. He says, "Whoop that trick. Yeet." Bro, that was crazy, too. I swear to God, if you listen to the crowd, you got those dual chants. The crowd went crazy for it. Absolutely love seeing it. Absolutely love the fact that WWE has been able, I like to tell this story, okay? Me and my cousins, me and my boys, we go to a wrestling show, right? And I'm one of those guys where, like, I don't really freak out. Like, I don't really chant. I don't do crazy chants. I don't really do anything. I just kind of sit there. I watch the show. I enjoy it, whatever. And then I feel like in later years, the more I would start going to these shows with my boys, like you would listen to certain wrestlers have catchphrases, and like there's just certain guys you want to boo. There's certain guys you want to cheer for. The Trick Williams thing is that Trick Williams has been able to get a reaction from fans without necessarily being the best pro wrestler, right? Same thing with Jey Uso. I mean, Jey Uso's not the best pro wrestler, especially as a singles guy. He is far greater as a tag team. But they got these catchphrases, and I swear, man, you hear the crowd go crazy with it. I know for a fact, like in December, WWE's coming to Detroit. Like, bro, I'm gonna have fun with this shit. Like, you never know, but it's fun. It's good stuff. It's really good stuff, and that's why the crowd loves it. And at the end of the day, the goal is to get the crowd invested, the fans invested. That's exactly what they did. Cam, thank you for the $2, bro. Appreciate you. You always coming up to the live streams and dropping super chats and everything. You're absolutely incredible. Appreciate it, bro. Justin Kennington dropping a $4.99. He says, do you think Triple H will book better 2-hour Raws and book the women better? Well, I don't think the women are being booked poorly. So that's one thing that needs to be addressed. I don't think the women are being booked poorly. What I do think is happening, though, is that they have a massive change, right? They went from 3 hours to 2 hours, and it is a big difference when you look at the way Raw was presented. SmackDown's always been 2 hours, so it's not like Triple H had a challenge with SmackDown, but the episode of Raw being 3 hours, he stacked that roster with talent. So that's why I feel like that it is a very big change. I feel like he will struggle a little bit more. I don't think the next few weeks will be that great of 2-hour episodes of Raw, but I hope I'm wrong. Now, with that being said, I don't agree with you. I think the women have been booked a lot better. I don't think the women are booked better anywhere other than NXT, though. I think NXT has the best booking for the women's division. I think it is very clear that Shawn Michaels and the company have done a phenomenal job of booking the women's division on NXT. And on top of that, I will say this. I think on the main roster, it is a lot harder to book the women because I think the women have to, I think they got to do a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff with very little time because there's just so much going on. I think in NXT, it's like pretty much like the women are basically the top stars, honestly. That's the way I'm kind of looking at it. Justin, thank you for the $4.99. Appreciate it. Let's do some shout-outs in the chat. We're going to read some stuff in the chat. Stupid Fat Hobbit. What kind of username is that, bro? I hope we see Mandy Rose return with Toxic Attraction. Talk about another shot in the arm for NXT. Helps their singles and tag division off the bat. Yeah, listen, she had the OnlyFans thing going. WWE didn't want her to have it. She got let go from the company. She was somebody who massively improved in the company. So I would like to think...
Dan from the 313 super chatted $5. Disappointed in Tony Khan. He needs to hire someone to run creative, but he's just too stubborn.
Dan, let me finish this thought really quick, and then I'll get to your super chat. Thank you. But going back to Mandy Rose, yeah, she had the OnlyFans thing, and like WWE wasn't fond of that. She was somebody who actually improved from the time that she was on Tough Enough to the time that she was NXT champion. I don't know if she needs the money. I don't know if she's still doing the OF, but if Mandy Rose were to come back, it would be an absolute big W for WWE. She would be a very, very good talent for the main roster as well. Would they bring back Toxic Attraction? That was one of the more successful women's factions in WWE history, so I would have to assume it could happen. We'll see if that happens. Shout out to Ango. Thanks for pulling up. Appreciate you. Wow, what a name. What a username. Ooh, I'm smiling. Okay, Dan from the 313. Shout out to Dan from the 313. $5 super chat. First super chat on the show. So appreciate that, Dan. Thank you so much for pulling up. He says he's disappointed in Tony Khan. He needs to hire someone to run creative. He's just too stubborn. Yeah, I don't know, man. He's got Hollywood writers. He's got people in his company. They're just struggling. They can't figure it out. I think, I didn't want to watch AEW last night. Like I said, I can't really be too critical. I know they had a lot of last-minute changes due to the hurricanes. So, obviously, their show, it's really not that exciting to me. But they confused the hell out of me when Jake the Snake and Lance Archer and Don Callis family, they did like a trade or whatever. I don't know. I don't even really want to get into it. That shit is boring. And I'm not really interested in talking about it. I do agree, brother. I do agree. I think Tony Khan needs a lot of help. I think Tony Khan needs a lot more help than people realize because Tony Khan's got one of the sickest rosters in professional wrestling. But, things just don't make sense on that show. And you know, at the end of the day, they'll eventually figure it out. I know that. Tony Khan's rich, bro. As long as Tony Khan's running that company, eventually they'll figure it out. But I just feel like these last 2 years, the company's been pretty shit, to be honest. This year has been a lot better, but I feel like they still do random shit that makes no sense, and I can't stand it. Because look at NXT last night, look at the consistency, look at everything that they be doing. Like, NXT is truly one of the most consistent wrestling shows out there. And for me, if I'm going to judge a wrestling show based on how they tell stories, how they develop talent, their vision, their plan, and everything else that they're doing, I mean, NXT is literally the perfect model. I think a lot of podcasters, a lot of journalists, a lot of people don't want to put respect on NXT because it's not the popular opinion within the IWC. The internet wrestling community is a bunch of jokes because there's a lot of people, they're afraid to tell their true opinions. But everything that has ever been documented as a complaint about Vince McMahon or Triple H or Tony Khan, literally Shawn Michaels does the opposite. Shawn Michaels does not push women just for the sake of pushing women. He pushes women because they're good. When you talk about diversity, he pushes diversity because it's obviously very important to the brand, but they have a very great, diverse, talented roster. And on top of that, Shawn Michaels literally just understands that when it comes to developing talent, you got to do some risky things. And that's what NXT is. And NXT is very consistent at this. So, yeah, I love it. NXT's the shit. I love it. Dynamite, didn't watch it. I watched a little bit of it. I turned it off. At the end of the day, NXT went head-to-head with AEW for 1 hour last night. 1 hour last night is what they did. They went live for 1 hour head-to-head, and I swear, I'm telling you guys right now, the IWC is going to be up in arms about the ratings, but the truth is, AEW's ratings are going to be shit anyways. It doesn't have to be compared to anybody else, bro. Dynamite's ratings aren't going to be good. Dynamite's attendance won't be good. Dynamite's a completely different show these days. They will never get back to hitting 1 million viewers. They will never get back to that if they don't make change. They've tapped out all the big pops, all the big returns. Shane McMahon's going to waltz into the company. And at the end of the day, guys, people don't care. This Saturday, we get Wrestle Dream. And like just a few weeks ago, we had Grand Slam. And then we had All Out and All In. And it's just like they have a lot of shit to change before they can improve. And listen, I like a lot of people on that roster. I have become very cool with tons of people on that roster. I understand my opinions are a little controversial about AEW, but let's not forget, before AEW ever went on the air for the first time, I was there supporting that shit. I was there talking about that shit. I had talked to people about their TV deal before the TV deal ever became official, and AEW comes out, guns swinging. Like, these guys were literally just absolutely killing it on television the first 2 years. Eventually, things started to change. I don't know what it may be, but I'm going to say this because it always appears to be controversial. I always get bullshit through this. A lot of people talk about this. But at the end of the day, for as vocal as I am about how bad AEW has been in the last 2 years roughly, let's not forget that the shit that I used to say about WWE since 2012 was absolutely insane. But the problem is we got a lot of brains out there that are fully cooked. Fully cooked. Listen, guys, I got 2,000 videos. I got videos on my page from when I was like 360 pounds, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing with my life. And, you know, you go back and watch those videos and some of the shit goes viral. I keep them there because you guys will see that I am the most consistent content creator on the platform. That's it. Simple as that. Shout out to Dan from the 313 for the $5 super chat. It is very interesting that a lot of people are talking about AEW in this way because I feel like I've been saying a lot of things that people are complaining about today are things that I was complaining about a year or two ago. And now people are finally starting to realize that I was right. And that's good. That's good because in order for change to happen, you know, and like I said, for AEW and WWE, they're not going to go away. Even if WWE's attendance goes down, even if ratings go down, they're not going to go away, bro. These are two multi-billion-dollar companies. I am literally in a business of an industry that is far greater than other sports, other entertainment avenues. Like, it's going to be very, very hard to kill these companies. They are going to be here for a very, 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 very long time. Very long time, regardless of the numbers being up and down. And that's why I say, don't worry about the ratings, just worry about the product. And if the product sucks, guess what, guys? The ratings are probably going to go to shit anyways. So yeah, we get the whole thing with Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, all that is really cool. I'm happy. Very cool segment. Loved it. Ryan Sinclair is going to be versing Stephanie Vaquer next week on NXT. We'll see what that looks like. We'll see how that goes. I very much am excited to see Stephanie Vaquer actually wrestle in the WWE. I think she'll be a massive success in the WWE. It's going to be really interesting. Later on in the show, too, we do get another vignette for Delta. So I'm going to mention this. Delta Brady's coming in. Literally, her vignette that they aired is like a cinematic masterpiece. It looks like it's been like what's the word that I'm looking for, guys? It's like it looks like we are looking at a Mad Max movie trailer. It's interesting because it looks like they're keeping Delta away from Julia and Stephanie Vaquer, but we'll see how that goes. Her vignettes are absolutely sick, though, and again, it just goes to show you WWE has completely changed the way they do business and the way they do things, and it was phenomenal stuff. Really excited about that. The North American Championship, Oba Femi versus Tony D'Angelo. Guys, I have no idea why I was so wrong on this. I don't know why I was so wrong on this, guys. I did not expect this to be as great as it was. I didn't say good. I said great. And the reason why I said great was because this was one of the best matches I've seen in NXT since they've been doing all these transitions in terms of a title match. This is literally an A+ match. Just a phenomenal story being told within the ropes. Tony D'Angelo defeats Oba Femi to become the new North American Championship holder. And my God, I did not expect that. I did not expect that whatsoever. One of the craziest parts about this, though, was that Stacks tossed in a crowbar. He tossed in a crowbar to Tony D'Angelo, but the Don didn't use it. He didn't use it. Now listen, I just read something in the chat. Trey Lusato says it was a great match, but the roll-up, I'm not a fan of it. I understand. But this was a great match, some great spots. They both looked good. Do you really want Oba Femi, this monstrous guy who doesn't lose matches? This guy has been built up as the next big thing, man. Do you really want him to get pinned 100% completely clean? I'm not too mad about the roll-up pin for that reason. But I did like this. I love this. And I thought this was a very, very good match. It was a very big upset. This was literally a grand slam of a championship match. You know, and I don't know who tweeted it out. So I apologize in advance because it is very true. And I think this is a thought that could be echoed out through many other people. But I do think we need to acknowledge the fact Carmelo Hayes called up. Grayson Waller called up. Braun Breaker called up. The fourth person that never got called up was Tony D'Angelo. So I was very happy to see that Tony D'Angelo got his big moment in NXT because, guys, trust me when I tell you, when he makes it to the main roster, he's going to be really fun to watch. He's going to be really, really fun to watch. But now I have to wonder who is going to be the heel that takes the belt off of Tony D'Angelo. Because I have a very strong feeling we're going to see more babyface Tony D'Angelo going forward. That's what I'm thinking. Oba Femi's going to be a monster on the main roster whenever that time comes. I've been saying that literally since day one. I would be shocked if I'm wrong. But, hey, I was wrong about this match. I did not think this match was going to be that great. It was a freaking masterpiece. The spine buster that D'Angelo hits on Oba Femi through the announce table. Very, very good stuff here. Guys, we get Fraxium versus A-Town Down Under. Absolutely awesome match. But Fraxium's the shit. I liked it. It was fun. Cool tag team match. Fraxium retains. Who the hell's going to take the belts off of them? I have no idea. Brother Fluff Salisbury says, I'm watching from Tampa. Thank you for getting my mind off the hurricane for a few minutes. Brother, stay safe. I keep seeing a whole bunch of stuff about evacuations and everything. Obviously, we just saw what happened with AEW. A lot of talent are unable to travel. WWE talent are unable to travel. They're stuck in St. Louis due to these hurricanes. So God bless you, dude, and prayers to you and everybody that's close to you. Hopefully it all goes well. Stay safe, and, make sure you stay safe before watching my streams. You could always watch my streams later. You know what I mean? So make sure you're taking care of yourselves. That's what's most important, guys. Never forget that. But I do appreciate the love. Thank you. So NXT ends off in a very interesting way too. Javon Evans versus Randy Orton. Javon Evans versus Randy Orton. Not the greatest match, but a good match. The only thing that bothered me about this match, you guys all saw it. You guys all know what I'm talking about. You guys all saw exactly what happened. Javon Evans went for like this crazy 10 spins in a row type shit for an RKO out of nowhere. They botched it. I thought that was a very interesting ending because, as you guys can tell, Javon Evans was literally apologizing to Randy Orton for fucking up the finish. He did that. He took care of that. Randy celebrated with him. Randy Orton... What a different guy, because if this was Randy Orton in like 2012 type shit, I don't know, man. If this was Randy Orton during that time period, it would have been different, but he celebrated with Javon Evans. I thought it was a fun match. Javon Evans, I mean, people literally forget that this kid is 20 years old. He's new to the business, and he literally just went up against one of the GOATs, which is absolutely insane. So I thought that was a really cool thing. Despite the botched finish, I thought this was still a really good match. It wasn't the greatest match. There was a couple times where Randy Orton was just like waiting for Javon Evans a little bit, but that's okay. Like it happens. And shit, dude, like that's, what can you do? Botches happen. The good thing about this specific botch though, is that Randy Orton messed up the RKO out of nowhere, and then at the end of the day, it was not a big deal, because what Randy Orton ends up doing is that he literally just ends up just hitting another RKO. So like it didn't even look that bad. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't terrible, if that makes sense. So yeah, huge. Great episode of NXT. Guys, we got a super chat from Justin Kennington for $1.99. He says, I want Braun versus Oba versus... excuse me. I can't read, guys. I can't read. He says, I want Braun versus Oba or Oba versus Gunther in the future. Brother, you're going to get both of those matches. And you're going to get Oba Femi versus Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. And they're going to have matches galore. You know, and the crazy thing is, if Brock Lesnar comes back, I don't know if Brock Lesnar will come back, but all those matches are the same ones that Brock Lesnar should be having. If Brock Lesnar is deemed free and clear from whatever this lawsuit is with the WWE Vince McMahon situation. But Oba Femi, I want to watch him fight Roman Reigns, bro. Oba Femi is going to be a main eventer. Mark my words, he is going to be a main eventer. I don't know how WWE or when WWE will do it, but they will do it at some point. It will happen. It will be inevitable. And therefore, I'm going to make it very, very clear to you guys. Mark my words. At some point in the next 7 years, Oba Femi should be main eventing a WrestleMania. I sincerely believe that. There's a lot of cool shit they could do there, Justin. Love it. Love what you guys are saying in the chat. You know, it's interesting because I saw somebody mention Oba Femi is what Keith Lee should have been. Keith Lee in NXT was booked incredibly well. Keith Lee booked on the main roster, garbage. Keith Lee booked in AEW, garbage. Unfortunately, Keith Lee's going through some serious health concerns, so I don't know what his whole situation will be if he comes back or whatever, but you guys know I tell you all the time, health is wealth. If Keith Lee comes back healthy, I want him back in WWE. Triple H will take care of him. We all know that. But first, he got to come back and be healthy. Whatever's going on, that's not for us to be, you know. All right, cool, guys. Let's just take a quick commercial break. I'm going to go grab a water. We got some news stories to discuss. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss it. They're very good stuff. We got to talk about it. I think I think for one of these stories, you guys probably would have never seen this coming, which I find that to be very good because it's something I didn't expect from WWE. It's a massive change in the WWE that I want to talk about. I'm very opinionated on it, and I feel like I'm finally getting my wish as to WWE doing business a little bit better these days. So, guys, just a quick commercial break. Do not leave. Do not leave me, guys. Do not leave me. I don't want to be alone. Don't leave me. All right? All right. right, we are back. We are back. Thank you guys for being patient. I got my water. I just took a step outside. It's a beautiful day, fresh air. Like, seriously, guys, it is such a beautiful day. And I'm just so glad we are all live together. Talking about pro wrestling, the thing that unites us all. Okay, so here's the deal. I want to switch gears. We were just talking about NXT. I'm not talking AEW in case you guys missed it. I'm not talking AEW. Trevor, I see you in the chat. But hey, that's the old me, bro. I can't talk like that no more. You know what I mean? Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing, right? So we're gonna talk about this. I'm not talking about AEW Dynamite. It went head to head with NXT. Maybe I'll watch the full thing on DVR. I watched like a segment or two with the Lance Archer thing and the trade. I don't know. I personally didn't care for it. So yeah, I just turned it off. Not a big deal. Instead, we are going to talk about some news and staying on par with NXT, guys. I want to talk to you about this because this is very interesting. There's been a lot of talk lately about CM Punk and his involvement with the NXT brand and everything that is happening in NXT. And I want to talk about this for a very specific reason because there was rumors that when CM Punk joined WWE, there was rumors that maybe CM Punk would want to run NXT afterwards. Now, PW Insider has come out with a report. Even though CM Punk was not actually on the NXT show, he was yet again backstage at WWE NXT in St. Louis. He actually reportedly traveled with the NXT talent via the bus to and from the show, and he was giving advice at the taping. Now, guys, let's talk about this because CM Punk is somebody heavily criticized. A lot of people thought that he didn't want to put over talent in AEW. A lot of people thought he doesn't want to put over talent in WWE. And now CM Punk is one of the guys who I genuinely believe after Shawn Michaels is done and after CM Punk is done with his full-time in-ring career, I genuinely believe CM Punk is going to be involved in NXT. Now, I don't know if that's going to be as a trainer. I don't know if that's going to be as an agent. I don't know if that's going to be as a producer. I don't know if that's going to be as part of the creative team. I don't know if that means CM Punk is going to kick Shawn Michaels to the side. But what I do know is that CM Punk being involved in NXT is actually good for business. And there's going to be a lot of anti-CM Punk fans who probably will not agree with me here because anything CM Punk does, a lot of people don't want to admit that he is actually really good. But CM Punk is somebody who understands the wrestling business. CM Punk is a veteran of the wrestling business. CM Punk knows what it's like to leave WWE for 7 years, come back to pro wrestling after 7 years of missing TV, missing wrestling. He missed 7 years, and every year people were chanting for CM Punk to come back. He knows what that feeling is like. And then on top of that, he comes back to professional wrestling, delivers an outstanding storyline in AEW with MJF, and then unfortunately all the drama in between got him fired. And what's really interesting is that the AEW fan base, in my opinion, tried to paint this picture that CM Punk was not a giving person, that CM Punk was not a good person, that CM Punk was not a positive person. Now, CM Punk doesn't need me to defend him. However, I have always said there are three sides to every story. And, we saw the drama with the Elite. We saw the issue with Jungle Jack. And then, everybody's picking sides based on dirt sheet reports. And the reality is this, my friends. The reality is this. CM Punk came into AEW after 7 years of being away from television, after being away from pro wrestling. He steps away, he comes back to professional wrestling, and he joins the company where everything should have been perfect, and it wasn't perfect. And then, on top of that, this fan base who has been begging and clamming for this guy to return and to join, they turned on him. And immediately when they turned on him, CM Punk went from being one of the greatest people in the world to being an absolute piece of shit. And that was the issue with the AEW audience, and it still is. People in AEW's fan base, I just saw it the other day. Maria Kanellis did not even say a negative word about AEW. I made a video that she's leaving the company, and people are like, who cares? Nobody cares. It's just Maria Kanellis. But when Maria Kanellis joined AEW, that wasn't what was being said. It was, this is a great signing. She's going to be a great addition backstage. She's going to be great for Ring of Honor and the women's division and blah, 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 blah. My point that I'm making is that a lot of people have used opportunities on the internet to smear other names, okay? CM Punk is now in the WWE. CM Punk just had arguably the top 3 greatest Hell in a Cell match of all time. And in addition to that, one of the things that is really a big deal here is that CM Punk is instrumental in working with young and up-and-comers. He's working with Roxanne. He's working with Cora Jade. He's building friendships with all of these different people in NXT. And if he's going to travel with NXT, if Punk is going to give advice to these young up-and-comers, and Punk literally ends up staying with TKO, Endeavor, WWE, long-term, and he ends up running NXT, that is going to be one of the greatest stories in professional wrestling. This is a guy who cannot see eye to eye with Triple H. This was a guy who could not see eye to eye with Vince McMahon. This was a guy who couldn't see eye to eye with anybody in the WWE. And now we have gotten to a point where, because he left the WWE and then he goes to AEW, everybody was convinced that this guy was the problem. If CM Punk ends up running NXT or becomes a very integral part of NXT, and he becomes a very big integral part of the future of this company after his in-ring career is done, boy, the internet will have never been more wrong than ever. And on top of that, let's just shoot the shit for a second. If CM Punk ends up running NXT and then turns NXT into something even bigger, holy shit, guys. Let me tell you right now, dead ass, no joke. I'm telling you guys right now, CM Punk will be the biggest mistake that AEW has ever had. Letting go of him will be one of the biggest things ever. Because I'm telling you guys right now, that is one of the worst things that AEW has ever done. Their business has completely shifted. Their business has completely gone to shit. Their ratings have gone down. Attendance has gone down. They're losing the popularity contest against WWE. And when they lost CM Punk, it felt like everything was crashing down. And AEW has a very, very good roster. But if CM Punk does run NXT, if CM Punk is known for being this really good guy backstage and being a really good influence backstage, mark my words, it will reflect very poorly on AEW, because there are people who have talked about this and they said CM Punk was chosen, Jungle Jack Perry was chosen over CM Punk. Guys, night and day difference. What is happening here? Night and day difference. The company hasn't been the same. Now here's the thing. CM Punk's in-ring career probably won't be that much longer. I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you guys how long he'll be there. But what I will say is this. What I will say is that WWE and CM Punk could end up having a very good relationship. And if they have a really good relationship, that would be a massive, massive win for the company. I would like to also go as far as saying that you should be investing in your youth, and more veterans should step up and help the youth when the opportunity arises. When the opportunity arises, step up. Because I think that would be absolutely huge. Look at all these veterans coming in. Look at all these people coming in and helping out. That's great. But NXT, building the future of WWE, that's where NXT is. So let's not forget about that. Let's not forget about that. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, there was something that happened while I was talking, and I want to just...
Titus super chatted $99.99. Good afternoon, Ango. What's up? I've been missing your live videos, but I am here today. Much appreciated, brother. Will you be at SummerSlam next year? I'll be there. I support you forever, brother, in this channel.
Guys, we just got a $100 super chat from Titus. And, this is huge. Titus, I appreciate you so greatly for dropping the $99.99. Thank you for pulling up. Even if you can't make every live stream, I totally understand, guys. I get it. You guys have lives to live. You can't be here every single time. I understand. Don't feel bad about it. I don't forget you guys. I pay attention to who's in the chat, and I appreciate the love, bro. As far as SummerSlam next year, I can't tell you for sure that I will be there because I genuinely do not know if I will be able to. SummerSlam, I believe next year is in July. If it's in July, I would be there. If it's in August, I probably will not be here because I will probably be on a very nice vacation in Europe. I got to go back to the motherland, guys. I got to go back to the motherland. The plan is to go next year. So we'll see. But I got to look at the dates because that's really the big thing. I don't know what life is going to be like tomorrow, so I can't really tell you next year if I'll be there. But, Titus, if I'm there, we could take a picture. We could, if you're old enough, we could drink a beer together. We could do all the good stuff, man. We can, for sure. We'll figure it out. I don't know. I've done subscriber meetups at previous events. So, we'll figure something out. There is a very good chance, though. It depends. If SummerSlam is like early August, I might be able to make it. If it's, I just can't remember their announcement. That's really the big thing. Shout out to Titus. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all give Titus a round of applause. Let me see. Hold on, because I was trying to do something earlier, and let me see something. I was trying to do something, and it wasn't working. There we go. Shout out to Titus, biggest super chat of today's stream. Thank you, sir. Seriously, it means a lot. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We have another super chat from Halburn. I don't know, bro. I don't know how to pronounce your name. My bad. But I don't even know what kind of currency this is. So let's Google it, because it did not. Oh, Philippines. Okay, 125 Philippine pesos. So we got some international currency in here. Appreciate that. What do you think is the likelihood for a Punk run NXT to bring back the black and gold vibes? Guys, it's already happening. It's already happening. Take a look. Take a look at what's happening currently as it stands, bro. Take a look. Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, Roxanne, Cora Jade, Ethan Page, Trick Williams. You got Pete Dunne sometimes on NXT as well. Obviously, he wasn't on there last night. There's a lot of things that are happening. Plus, Ricky Starks might be heading there. There's just a variety of things that this is starting to look a lot more like black and gold vibes, but the booking is so much better. The booking is way better than black and gold vibes. Shawn Michaels has done a really good job with NXT. So for sure, that's how I look at it. Thank you for the 125 Philippine pesos. Appreciate that. Hail Barn. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, so I do apologize in advance. I don't like to butcher people's names, but I appreciate it. So, guys, today we got some very interesting news around some new WWE signings, but there's something about these new WWE signings that are just slightly different, and that's why I want to talk about it, because WWE has made a massive change, and holy shit, I did not expect this. So DDP confirmed over the weekend that he has joined Jacqueline, Jesse Ventura, the Headbangers, Mick Foley, Victoria, the Godfather, and the Dudley Boys, in terms of a new Legends deal. So they've all signed Legends deal. Now, what's really interesting is Rob Van Dam was on the Cheap Heat Productions podcast, and he comes out and he says he is now under a Legends deal with WWE. And despite making multiple appearances for AEW, he says he can appear in AEW. However, AEW is limited in how they can monetize Rob Van Dam. So this means that AEW cannot put Rob Van Dam in video games. They can't make AEW action figures. They can't make merchandise for Rob Van Dam. But they can utilize Rob Van Dam. The new WWE Legends deals allows WWE stars to use their likenesses for various purposes. This means that WWE, right, they signed DDP, Jacqueline, Jesse Ventura, the Headbangers, Mick Foley, Victoria, Godfather, Dudley's, right, all these names, right? WWE is going to put them in the video games. They're going to make merchandise. Maybe they'll appear on WWE television from time to time. But really what is happening here is that WWE has actually figured out that they can let their legends work in other places, as long as those companies aren't monetizing the intellectual properties. So we saw Rob Van Dam in AEW. We could see Rob Van Dam in AEW again. WWE is not slapping a restriction onto him. And then what makes this really interesting is because WWE is now doing all these Legends deals. And they're not actually calling the Legends deals, by the way. They're calling them nostalgia contracts, which I think is just a little bit nicer. I like that. But the thing is, with these nostalgia contracts that they're doing, it seems like WWE is giving people a little bit more freedom. And I think WWE, that's something that WWE hasn't really been known for. I think WWE has actually kind of been the opposite of that. So this is a very welcome change in WWE's business. This is a very interesting change in WWE's business because, to be honest with you guys, it's like one of those things where I don't anticipate WWE talent showing up in AEW, right? But we were talking about JBL, for example, who showed up in TNA, he showed up in GCW, he showed up in AAA, he's showing up elsewhere, and WWE doesn't have a problem with it. It's a completely different world now. I don't know if you guys have also noticed, but WWE is signing more of these as of late. And I think we should take a minute to kind of talk about Triple H and why he's doing this. Because one of the biggest things that WWE has done really poorly with, like historically speaking, is how they care for the legends in the business. And I think Vince McMahon was a very big problem for that. But if you look at Triple H and his approach, I mean, Triple H for a long time, even with like Bruno Sammartino, like he went to rectify and like help rebuild relationships that were broken. I would have never expected Jesse Ventura to come back to WWE. But he's come back to WWE. Like there's a really, really good chance that in WWE 2K25, the next video game that comes out, a lot of these people signing contracts with WWE's nostalgia deals, these are the people that are going to be able to be in the video games again. And I think that's a really cool thing. I think it's really great when you can have those relationships repaired. Look at Goldberg. Goldberg was just smearing everybody's name. He was smearing AEW. He smeared WWE. He was not happy with Vince McMahon. Triple H comes and says, no, man, we're going to take care of this. There's a good chance that Goldberg comes back. I talked about that on my main channel the other day. It's fascinating to me to see that WWE is repairing relationships, which is a good thing. I think it's a very good thing. But here's the thing. WWE's repairing these relationships and then they're giving them a little bit more freedom. It's not like, hey, you could just go work indies, but hey, you can go work for another TV show. They just can't make money off of your likeness. They can't make merchandise. They can't sell action figures. They can't sell shit. Like, that's fair. But if Rob Van Dam wants to go make an appearance like he has, that's pretty sick, bro. That's sick. It's not like Rob Van Dam's going to be in AEW as a prominent figure. It's not like he's going to be in AEW as a prominent, you know, storylines and stuff like that. That's not what's happening. You know what I mean? Like, that's literally not what's happening. But you want to do a Kenny Omega versus Rob Van Dam match, you can do that. You can utilize him. I think that's cool. I think that's special. I was very shocked to see that WWE went this route. And also, too, let me just point out really, really clearly, Signing new contracts and signing new legends is never a bad thing, and it will never reflect poorly on WWE. And then very quickly, I just want to turn our attention to another topic. WrestleVotes came out and talked about this. Just a quick little topic. WrestleVotes is basically coming out that the WrestleMania 41 plan isn't completed, but one of the ideas that's been floating around is that Rock, Cody, Roman Reigns will be a triple threat match at WrestleMania 41. And I don't know how you guys feel about that, but my quick 2 cents is it's this, okay? It's actually pretty easy. I do believe genuinely that a triple threat match would be very big. I do think it would be really big. I don't know how they would book that, though. But if the idea is to do a triple threat match, that could be really fun. The Rock is probably confused as to why Roman is teaming up with Cody, and that's how we kind of get to that triple threat match. The Rock is going to turn on both of them. I think if you guys want to see more of the Bloodline Civil War stuff, I think there's just so much that is happening, dude. I think it's going to take a lot of time till we get there. WWE is for sure extending the storyline, but WrestleVotes came out with that. I thought it was a very interesting topic. And nothing's confirmed. WWE hasn't confirmed it. Is it the best use for Cody? Personally speaking, I would like to see Cody Rhodes not be involved in a triple threat match if it meant that Cody could verse Randy Orton in a massive feud. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I literally don't know what to expect with that. So that is something to obviously keep in mind. We'll have to see if they want Roman and Cody at some point sooner, or do they just lump everything together? I don't know. But I do like the idea of WWE going out there and trying to experiment here and doing different things and trying things that are different. I admire the fact that WWE bringing in legends, WWE's thinking big all the time. As a fan of pro wrestling, that is a very, very good thing.
Titus super chatted $9.99. Can't wait for the Bloodline story Friday, gonna be great.
Exactly, bro. Exactly, bro. 100% I agree. That's huge, man. It's huge. The Bloodline storyline is such a massive storyline. Such a massive storyline. So how is WWE going to build upon it Friday? That's really the big question. I don't know. I don't know. I wish I knew, guys. I wish I knew. Shout out to Titus. Titus dropped $110 of super chats today. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Hal Byrne. Shout out to everybody who dropped super chats. I appreciate you guys. I feel like I'm forgetting some names. I don't mean to. Let me see. Dan from the 313, right hand cam. Appreciate you all, guys. Thank you all for supporting. What a show. What a show indeed. Crazy, man. Tomorrow we'll be live. We'll probably do Wrestle Dream predictions. We'll see. We'll see. I'm probably going to go watch the full episode of Dynamite. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about that tomorrow too. Appreciate you all for being here. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.